Thanks for joining us. Time to get ready for NBA action on 2K Sports. Sunday in the NBA. It'll be Danny Granger and the Indiana Pacers facing off against Tony Parker and the San Antonio Spurs. And that'll do it until we catch up again for the HP Halftime Report. Now out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K crew.
It's home to the Alamo and the Spurs, San Antonio, Texas, as we bring you an interconference rivalry here at the AT&T Center. Well, before you look ahead to your busy week, sit down, relax, pull up a chair, as we bring you another NBA broadcast. And thanks for sharing part of your weekend with us. And now, the opening lineup for Indiana, courtesy of State Farm. Granger, Hansbrough, and Hibbert are the front court. Collison is out there with Paul George. And for San Antonio, Jefferson and McDyess make up the forwards. Parker and Manu are the backcourt. And it's Duncan in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Well, guys, it was the best start in franchise history for the Spurs last season. They got to 40 wins before the end of January. That was a team first. And finished with the second best record in the league, 61 wins.
And the Spurs start out with the ball. Parker kicks to McDyess. Out to Duncan. Ginobili on the wing, defended by George. 6 to shoot. Granger against Jefferson. And he sinks the shot coming off the strong pick. Jefferson's got the scoreboard going with his first points of the night for the Spurs. So, Steve, a team he used to play for, the Spurs, essentially a 50-win team for the last 13 seasons, including when you played for them, but they may be nearing the end of their championship window. At least some people think that. How about you?
Well, even Tony Parker said over the summer that he didn't think the Spurs could win a championship anymore. So what a run it's been. 50-win seasons, 13 times in a row. Just incredible. They'll still be very competitive, but this is not a championship team any longer.
Now let's find out what head coach Greg Popovich had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, he talked about the sense of familiarity his players now have with each other, saying they have such a great feel for one another. They know if they just get to the right spot on the floor, the ball will be there. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. Do you guys think their shooting will play as important a role as the coach made it sound?
Well, the object of the game is to put the ball in the basket, so you want your shots to fall, but I don't know if you can necessarily plan on that being the case.
Well, you'd like to plan on making every shot. It just doesn't happen that way. So the key to focus on is shot selection. Get good shots, and hopefully you'll have a good groove going tonight.
Here's Collison, following the basket by Tim Duncan. Three-pointer, Granger. It's hauled in by Duncan.
Kevin, it's obvious Tim Duncan, not the player he once was, not as fast as he once was, but he still anchors the defense. And his experience and know-how serves him well as he moves to the twilight of his career.
Here's Collison. Hansbrough up top. Collison dishes to Granger. Just 5 to shoot. Ring shot on the way. And again, it's Indiana converting. And you look at Tim Duncan's rebounding and block shots last season. Per minute, Steve, he was about as good as ever.
Pretty remarkable, Kevin, but he's just at the age where he can't do it for 40 minutes a night. So Greg Popovich and his staff had to kind of monitor the minutes and keep him down as much as they could. And as a result, even though the per-minute numbers are there, the overall numbers are lacking.
And the Spurs making a change here. Splitter's checked in, and the Pacers also changing it up. Jeff Foster's checked in for Hibbert. And it's Rush in for Paul George. Here's Parker. Right around, 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Picked up by Collison. Parker kicks to Jefferson. Parker passes to Ginobili. Duncan outside. Shot clock at 6. Shoots over Foster. Kept alive. Parker outside. And there's the 3-second violation. Here is Collison, looking for his first bucket of the game.
You know, for the Pacers last season, it was encouraging for them to make the playoffs, but it can't obscure the hard work that's still left ahead. I mean, they only won 37 games in the regular season. They would have needed 9 or 10 more wins to make the playoffs in the West, so they've still got a ways to go.
Ginobili outside. From deep, and that one's good. Ginobili's got 5. Like you mentioned, the 37 wins, that was 25 less than the Chicago Bulls team they faced in the first round.
Sure was, yeah.
Steve?
Well, even with that said, Kevin, it was a very competitive series. It went 5 games, but every single game went down the stretch.
Splitter gets called for the reach. That's his first foul. A different look for San Antonio. DeJuan Blair, he's checked in for Duncan. And Gary Neal subbed in for Tony Parker. And the Pacers also changing it up. Josh McRoberts comes in for Tyler Hansbrough. And George Hills subbed in for Darren Collison. Here is Hill. Tries a 3 off the inbound. And the Pacers can't get it to go.
It's defense like that that'll get you a rep in the NBA. I mean, he did an excellent job closing out on balance and on time, and then bothered the shooter by challenging the shot.
And that's not just any shooter either.
Now here's Ginobili. He has 5. Shot clock at 5, and that one's good. Ginobili's got 7 points in the game.
One thing that Popovich doesn't get enough credit for is how he handles the minutes of his players. He really massages those well. He never overuses his guys over the course of the season.
Rush from outside. Spurs leading by 5. Here's Neal. Feeds it to Jefferson. And Granger picks him up defensively. They get it back. And Blair gets it to go.
Boy, I like the rugged work on the inside that led to that very easy putback. That's going after it there, guys.
Hill dishes to McRoberts. Passes it to Foster. Over Jefferson. Rush gets the bucket. 27 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Ginobili outside. Jefferson against Granger. Shot on the wing. Jefferson's shot is off. Throws it from deep. The shot is off. Oh, we've seen some great shots in the first quarter. No shortage of offense. Spurs out in front, up by 5.
Now the key has been the rebounding department. This club dominating the paint area. And if this continues, they'll be in great shape.
Well, they've done 2 things. They've limited second chances, and they've been able to flex their muscle down low.
More great action when we return. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. Here is Hill. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. And so in the game for the Pacers, we've got George Hill, Tyler Hansbrough out there with Josh McRoberts. Then it's Paul George, and it's Hibbert in at the center filling out the middle.
And it's only their first turnover here. They've done a really good job of protecting the ball so far.
Now, it just shows you how smart they're playing. This is a team that has played very well together, and when they do, they're awfully tough to beat.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Guys, Tony Parker, a great point guard, but like the Spurs team in general, he's often overlooked. He said, when there is talk about the best point guards, sometimes they don't talk about me. But that's not my main motivation. They can talk about Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Darren Williams, and Chris Paul. I still have the most rings. And fellas, like they always say, the ring's the thing.
Well, Doris, you can't argue with that.
You know, and his story may be like those artists who aren't actually appreciated in their time. I mean, he doesn't get the attention now, but championships are the type of achievement that really live on.
And he makes both free throws.
Oh, you look at this Pacers roster, a nice young blend of talent and size, some versatility. They had the flexibility this past summer to add some other nice players. So this team seems to be on the rise.
Here's Neal. He's picked up by Hill. And Neal kicks to Blair. Puts up a three. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off his shot. 24-second violation. Well, the grimace of pain tells it all. He's hurt, and let's hope he's okay.
Well, you can tell he's hurting. Let's hope it's nothing major and that we see him back here soon.
Ditto to that. Injuries, unfortunately, are part of the game.
Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for the Spurs. Here's Hill, looking for his first bucket of the game. He's picked up by Parker. Hibbert with a screen on Parker. Hill, inside leaner, dunking against Hansbrough. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Danny Granger is checked in for the Pacers. Here's Parker. Now Blair. And here's McDyess. Clock at 6. Sinks that one from the post. McDyess has got his first points of the game. Parker against Hill. Back to Hibbert. They're working it around. Here's George. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. George has got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
Well, I love Paul George's game. From Palmdale, California, north of LA, a 6'8" athletic wingman. I think he's got a chance to be a two-way star in the NBA.
Now here's Ginobili. 7 points in the game. And no one able to grab it as it goes out of bounds. And some changes here for the Spurs. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for Duncan. Splitter comes in for DeJuan Blair. And it's Jefferson in for Manu Ginobili. Here's Hill. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. A moment for the Gatorade injury report.
Kevin, I caught up with the head athletic trainer for the San Antonio Spurs, Will Seveney. I'm told he suffered a high ankle sprain, and unfortunately, we know how serious those can be. He's going to remain on the sidelines for this one, and though it's tough to say right now, he might not be able to return anytime in the near future either. Not exactly the news you're hoping to hear, guys.
All right, Doris, thank you. And Steve and Clark, certainly not the news his fans were hoping for.
No, Kevin, it's, guys, it's really too bad. Just a terribly unfortunate turn of events here.
Well, yeah, you hate to see that happen. And in the meantime, his team now has to compensate for the loss. Let's see how they step up.
Clock is at 3. Launches it. McDyess can't hit. And here's Indiana. Only giving up 2 points this quarter. Outside Hill. Granger backing him down. Here's George. And the go-ahead bucket, no good.
Oh, that's got to be deflating and disappointing to miss a wide-open shot like that right in your wheelhouse.
Both teams will make substitutions. Here's Quinn.
And the Spurs were so consistent last year against the entire league. They were 23-7 against the East, and of course did pretty well against the West too.
Here is Bonner. Changes up. Splitter, that's good. And the Spurs lead by 2.
One of the sweetest moves in the game, the reverse layup in traffic.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Kevin, one of the most consistently successful franchises over the years has been the San Antonio Spurs, and all of the people associated with the organization believe that respect is a big part of the Spurs' success. Coach Greg Popovich's view on the matter? Well, this is what he said. Teams that get along, that respect each other, that enjoy being around each other, probably react better on the court. They don't have to be best buddies, but if they can respect each other and enjoy each other's time away from the court, I think that aids them once the game starts. Given that a lot of organizations try to model themselves after the Spurs, sounds like a good philosophy.
Thanks, Doris.
Well, and you can see it out there. I mean, these players all respect each other so well, and that's why they've had such a great run here in San Antonio for so long. A great respect for each other and for their coach.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game.
Well, you'd really have to say the Pacers took a step forward last season. I mean, they did improve their road record by 4 wins up to 13-28 compared to the season before.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. .112 left in the first half of the game. Ginobili the pass to Duncan. He kicks to McDyess. Backing him down is Duncan. 5 on the clock. And the rebound goes to the Pacers.
You'd expect him to nail that one being that close to the hoop.
Now here's Collison. Looking for his first bucket of the game. He's picked up by Parker. Pulls up on the elbow. Danny Granger, the bucket on the assist by Collison. Collison's got 3 assists tonight. Parker with it. Ginobili left side. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Ginobili's got 9.
You can't fault what he's been doing out there. Some really impressive shooting.
Here's Collison. Granger outside. Rush outside, and no good trying to get that one. Back here in just a moment from San Antonio.
No better way to unwind on a Sunday night. We've got your HP halftime report. The Spurs are fighting for control so far. Tenacious offensive rebounding. Their second chance points are piling up. Certainly an impressive start by Manu Ginobili. And of course, Richard Jefferson also making his presence felt. And slugging it out so far, the Indiana Pacers. Offensively, they're all over the court. The fans love this tempo of basketball. A valuable contribution so far by Tyler Hansborough. He's picked up 4 points, added 3 rebounds as well. We've already seen some highlights from these two in the first half. They're leading both their teams in scoring. And that'll do it. The second half is about to start out at AT&T Center.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. Here is Collison. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Jefferson, McDyess, and Duncan are the front court. Parker and Manu are the backcourt. So that's who Greg Popovich starts the second half with. The shot by George, no good.
And guys, I'm impressed with Paul George. You know, he was the 10th pick out of Fresno State last year, and Pacers are happy with him. He's athletic, he's got an NBA body. I think he's got a lot of potential. He could become a good player.
Now Parker. Picked up by Collison. Parker against Collison. It's stolen by Hansbrough.
Now the defender was so close to him on that pump fake that he just took the ball out of his hands.
Granger misses. Well, Clark, here's a player you know a little bit about. Paul George of the Pacers, second-year player, smooth game, nice-looking jump shot. He can slash his a lot of these guys can. Doesn't seem to be a bad defender either.
Well, I think he's got the potential to be a really outstanding player at both ends of the floor. I think he's got stardom in his future. Tremendous athlete, does things easily from an athletic standpoint. Last season, just messing around after practice, he jumped over the 7'2" Roy Hibbert for a dunk. He's got great potential.
And here's McDyess. Six on the shot clock. Ginobili kicks to Parker. Over Collison. Parker's shot is off.
Boy, I'm always impressed, guys, by how solid the Spurs are defensively. Last season, the 11th best defensive team in the league. They've got an established system. Again, players that fit into a system and execute it well, and it's been running for well over a decade, really. Everybody on the same page there.
Spurs leading by 3. It's covered by Collison. Parker dishes to Ginobili. The feed to Jefferson. Right side Jefferson. Over Granger. And another basket for San Antonio. You know, Clark, for the Spurs, I think, as Tim Duncan has started to slow down just a bit, you can see it there, or at least as he's transitioning into the later stages of his career, they're looking for another tough interior defender to take up some slack.
Yeah, I think they're hoping that Tiago Splitter, who was a rookie last season, will make some big strides here this year and really help San Antonio on the glass and at the defensive end of the floor down on that block.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game.
Well, you look at last season, guys, the Spurs had the best record in the Western Conference, almost unbeatable at home, where they were 36-5.
Here's Collison, looking for his first bucket of the game. Steve, we talk about the San Antonio crowd, one of the most terrific fan bases of any sports franchise. They're just so much in love with everything this franchise does.
Yeah, really, when you think about it, those fans, I mean, the Spurs are their pride and joy. I mean, they're enthusiastic, knowledgeable. The most successful small market team in the league is San Antonio. So the bond between the team and the community is really something special. It's neat to see.
And Clark, I said any sport, and I do believe it. I mean, we talk Green Bay fans, and you know Giant fans, and I mean, if you're talking about a bond, that's a great word to use, bond. There is a bond between the team and the fans.
Yeah, big time connection.
Now here's Hansbrough. 6 points for him. Hibbert kicks to George. Jefferson picks him up. George passes to Granger. Poked loose. Stolen by Ginobili.
You can't get too loose with the ball down on the low post. Too easy to steal it.
He dishes it to Duncan. He's against Hansbrough. Tries in the post. Again, the Spurs good for 2.
You know, they're just getting hammered inside and really need to find a way to be tougher down there. They got to be physical. They got to man up in there.
I agree. I mean, you look at the points they're giving up. Most of them seem to be coming inside the paint.
Now here's Hibbert. Pass to George. Jefferson picks him up. Here's Granger. And there are the Pacers with another bucket.
You look at how they've been scoring the basketball, and it's really fun to watch them because all the baskets are coming off assists.
Well, keep that in mind. I mean, they're a much more efficient team when they make that extra pass. When they get in trouble, it's when they're taking quick shots.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
You know, for the Pacers last season, they really had a difficult time against Western Conference teams. I mean, only going 9-21 in those matchups.
Blair, who's checked in for the Spurs. Splitter comes in for Manu Ginobili. Mike Dunleavy, who's checked in for Indiana. Rush comes in for George.
Go to the block.
That's tipped. Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. You talked about the troubles, Clark, against the Western Conference. For whatever reason, Steve, they struggled to defend Western Conference opponents.
Well, I thought the biggest thing was the West was so much deeper than the East last year, Kevin. The East had some strong teams at the top, but overall, a weaker field of teams. When you go out West, and on a nightly basis, you're going against a really tough team. I think that's the disparity in the numbers for Indiana.
And it's going to be a 3-second call. .137 left in the third quarter of the game. Collison kicks to Dunleavy. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison. Collison's got 5 assists in the game.
I think Darren Collison is penciled in as the Pacers' point guard of the future, and with blazing speed and a really insatiable appetite for the game, the future's bright for him.
And Splitter backs down. Let's go. It goes down off the front of the rim.
They're straying away from the three-point game here in the second half. And that's fine as long as they're on the lead and they're getting good shots. They've decided not to take nearly as many three-pointers in this half.
Well, Darren Collison's shooting percentages fell back to earth a bit last season following his scintillating rookie season. But Steve, he's still plenty dangerous offensively.
Well, he's so quick, and he can get around his defender at will, and he's added that jump shot. He's gotten much better with that shot. So Darren Collison, a guy who can beat you in a lot of different ways.
Now here's Parker. Still looking to get on the scoreboard.
He'll usually knock that shot down.
He sure will, but that's one he couldn't pass up.
Left side, Collison. Dunleavy kicks to Collison. Lock at 6.
Excellent steal that time. Pesky defensive play on his part.
By himself, Jefferson. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
That was good awareness. Fouling and avoiding giving up an easy dunk.
Well, I think that's just good, smart basketball. Make him earn his points at the line.
That free throw good from Jefferson. So both teams making some changes here. And so he makes both from the line. Here's Hill. From deep. Got it off in time, but it's no good. And that's it for the third quarter. Both teams scoring well as we head to the fourth. It's been one outstanding game from Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, give him credit. He's been very selective with his shots, and it's paying off for him and his team.
You know, through the first 3 quarters, Steve, he's taken exactly what the defense has given him, and he's not forced anything. I mean, that's poise that is very impressive. And that's exactly how you should play the game, in my opinion.
Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. And now let's send it to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for our Sprite Spark of the game. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, well, our spark of the game goes to the Spurs for that major surge. They've made their move and put a little separation between them and their opponent with the run they're on. If they can keep up this level of play, you have to like their chances going into the fourth, guys.
Terrific stuff, Doris. Thank you. That was quite a run they had, Clark.
Yeah, I tell you what, Kevin, scoring bursts like that often tell the story, really. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's been the case today. I mean, that's what you'd have to point to, I think, is the defining moment in this ballgame.
And a look at the 5 for the Pacers to start the fourth quarter. Granger and McRoberts are at the 3 and 4. Dunleavy is out there with George Hill. And it's Foster in at the 5. Here is McRoberts. From about 19 feet. It's hauled in by Duncan. Duncan's got his 4th rebound in this one. Knocked away. Duncan, a screen. Ginobili kicks to Parker. Shot clock at 6. Granger against Ginobili. Well-placed jumper from the free throw line. And it's an 11-point Spurs lead. Outside Hill. Granger outside. Here's Foster. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. Tim Duncan picks one up. He misses the free throw. Both teams deciding to change it up. Good on the second free throw. Here's Ginobili. Dishes to Quinn. He's picked up by Hill. Here's Quinn. Right side Jefferson. Ginobili outside. 6 to shoot. Defended by George. And it's blocked. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. Oh boy, looks like he was injured there.
Boy, that did not look good, Clark. I'm not sure how soon we'll see him back.
Yeah, I'm with you there, partner. I mean, that's the last thing anybody wants to see, that kind of injury.
DeJuan Blair, who's checked in for the Spurs. Here is Hill. And the Pacers call time here.
He just continues to light them up. They're going to have to find a way to make him work harder for his point.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. He doesn't think they've been giving it their all, saying they've been quicker to every loose ball. We gotta wake up. The game's slipping away and we're letting it happen. We have got to take control of this thing. We'll see if he lit a fire under him, guys.
Now here is Hill. And the pass to Foster. The dish out to McRoberts. Granger backing him down.
And what I love about Danny Granger is he's really good at both ends of the floor. A versatile defender. He can rebound. And, of course, offensively, he's dynamic.
The free throw drops for Granger. You know, the one thing that's held Danny Granger back early in his career, he always had some injury issues to deal with.
Yeah, he has, but last season I thought he was pretty healthy, and he carried the burden for the Pacers offensively. If he can get a little help in that area, though, I think it would serve him very well.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
You know, Kevin, I thought the Pacers really showed well for themselves in that series against the Bulls in the playoffs last year, and Danny Granger was fantastic. His game was really on point.
Ginobili against George. Again, the miss by Ginobili. Pacers trail by 8. And Steve, for the Pacers, it had to be encouraging to see Danny Granger at his best when it mattered the most.
Yeah, he played extremely well in the playoffs, as Clark mentioned. And he's one of those guys, I think, who's so versatile. He can do so many things on the floor. And he's got the ability to hurt you in a lot of different ways.
Well, another uncontested three there. They've got to make some kind of an adjustment. I mean, they're giving up way too many open threes.
Well, the last 5 hoops, 3 have come off wide open three-pointers, Clark. So it's one thing to give up one, but you start giving three-pointers up in bunches, you're in big trouble.
Here's Jefferson after Indiana gets the 3. 4 on the shot clock. With the clock winding down, and the basket by Ginobili. Ginobili's got 19 points.
And you can see the strategy has been to take the ball inside here.
That's where you get high percentage looks and draw fouls, Steve, and it's a good way to play.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. That one on Jefferson.
What a great game for Granger in this one. He's got 13 points, and you can add 1 3-pointer to his stat line also.
Well, you have to like a little bit of everything in the box score for him right now. He's really had a solid game.
The free throw drops for Granger. So both teams changing it up here. He's off on the second.
Even though they're down, I like their mentality. Work it inside and try to create some contact down low.
I like it as well. I mean, you just can't assume that you can shoot your way back into it when you're down. You got to grind it out, and part of that is getting the ball inside.
No good from Duncan.
Not the smartest shot in the world there.
Got to use your head out here. You can't just play. You got to think about it a little bit too.
Hill with it. Back to Granger. Now Green defending. Funny shot. And once again off the mark by Indiana. Spurs leading by 6. Parker double teamed. Granger against Green. He feeds it to Parker. Hibbert with the block. Pacers trail by 6. Now Hill. And here's George. Jefferson picks him up. 3-pointer. Granger gets the bucket. Granger's got 11 in the second half.
Well, they're pulling closer every possession. Really playing well now.
Well, they've ratcheted it up a bit here. I mean, expending a lot of energy, but you know what? They're back in it now.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. They're winning by 3. 1:32 left in the fourth. So it's both teams making substitutions here. .132 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Here's McDyess. That falls. Nice lead that time for Ginobili. And the Spurs lead by 5.
I'll tell you what, right now that mid-range jumper serving them well.
Yes, it is, guys. That's 6 of their last 10 points coming from that mid-range area.
Timeout called the Pacers. They're down by 5. 1:27 left in the fourth quarter. And the Spurs making a change here. Jefferson's checked in. Here's Collison. He's picked up by Parker. Now here's Collison. Fades back. Another miss by Granger.
Take what's available. Use the fadeaway when the defender's there on you.
Parker outside. Here's McDyess. Clock at 6. McDyess a screen. And stolen by Granger.
Big mistake. You just can't turn it over in that situation, Kevin.
Collison, no good. 2 points here might be all the cushion they need.
Now, you'd think so. I mean, this game is theirs for the taking.
Parker with it. Picked up by Collison. 6 on the shot clock. Parker against Collison. Parker's shot is off. Here comes Granger. The 3. And George kicks to Hansbrough. Over McDyess. Indiana again missing. And they go to the intentional foul. Nine seconds left in the fourth quarter. And so they foul intentionally. And the first of 2 misses. The Spurs making a switch here. Connects on number 2, and that increases their lead to 6.
Talk about a clutch free throw, Cap. That one just might have sealed the game.
Timeout called the Pacers. They're trailing by 6. 8 seconds left in the game. The Spurs making a switch here. Here's Collison. Covered by Parker. Money! And so it's San Antonio who scraped by with the win. And Clark, you know, it was quite a nail-biter.
Yeah, it was tight. Their guys were able to come up with big plays down the stretch, and that's the difference.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Manu Ginobili.